Millions of Americans won't be able to pay rent this month. Now a flood of landlords are filing for evictions. Housing advocates for both tenants and landlords are desperate for solutions. Chris Conti takes a closer look at how the eviction process is playing out, even though a moratorium is still in place.
I do think you're going to want in this new section, obviously, the COVID impact question somehow.
Grace Ross is drowning in paperwork, literally. Her office is filled with boxes overflowing with affidavits. The housing crisis in this country, she says, has taken on a life of its own.
We're talking about a long-term economic impact.
Grace runs an anti-foreclosure nonprofit where every day her team is fielding calls from people who have run out of money to pay their rent and are now facing eviction proceedings.
People are panicked. They're just, I think with how panicked, the low-level panic that we're all running around COVID already, and then you add the fact that they're looking at elders who will die if they're on the street regardless of COVID, or children who won't be able to go to school remotely.
COVID cases are also spiking across the country, and Americans who are trying to quarantine at home to stay safe are in jeopardy of losing their homes.
Yeah, on a foreclosure deed, there's going to be the name.
Housing courts in many states are still closed, so eviction hearings, which happen before a family actually is forced to leave, have to be done via Zoom, which presents its own challenges.
One of the areas of law where people self-represent the most is eviction cases and housing-related cases. So it's the worst court to have this happen in. Hi guys, I'm back.
Grace is also an attorney. Before COVID, lawyers would often resolve cases without a judge getting involved. Now, though, eviction hearings are being drawn out because attorneys can't meet in person, adding another layer of complexity to the housing crisis.
I don't think our courts have begun to address what social science research shows, which is that nonverbals are critical. And you can't get justice, especially if you're self-represented. You don't know what's supposed to be happening in court.
Nearly 12 million adults live in households that missed their last rent payment. 23 million people have little or no confidence in their ability to make their next rent payment. It's not just renters. Landlords who make less than $50,000 a year are also being hit hard because they get most of their income from tenants' rent. The CDC has a ban through the end of the year on actual evictions, but that doesn't mean eviction hearings aren't going forward in court.
And that street-level economy is the one that is just collapsing under the weight of the COVID impacts in a million different ways.
A fractured economy struggling to heal in the middle of the pandemic. I'm Chris Conti.
Now, most states have nonprofits working to help renters on the brink of eviction. If you fall behind on your rent, talk to your landlord to see if you can work out a plan. Keep copies of any important documents in your lease and reach out to a housing nonprofit in your area.